I'm Stefan Bauman. I want to welcome you to my studio in Mount Shasta. Today, I have a discussion with one of my students about artist block. What exactly is it, and how do we get out of it? Is it something that I need to be fearful of, and how long will it last? So sit back and relax and enjoy this interesting video because someday you might experience artist block.
Can you talk about artist block?
Oh my God. Artist block right off the bat. What about it specifically? Because it is a thing.
What is it and how do you get over it?
What is it? It's like malaise. It's like dullness. It's like everything in your world turns gray. It's like you don't want to paint. You don't think about painting. You you don't show up for me. So yeah, it happens. A lot of times, what can happen is that if you're not taking coaching and you're living in your world and you have this belief system that you're not good enough, artist block can set up. Artist block can also happen when you're really successful. I know a lot of artists that, in fact, there was an artist in Australia that I'd share this story in the past, but basically he called me up and he said he just doesn't feel like painting. And he's got thousands of dollars worth of commissions sitting on hold and he just can't get to it. I mean, his paintings sell for about $20,000. And if that doesn't get you out of artist block, I don't know what is. But he actually even hired people to nag at him. And I said, you could get me a lot cheaper. I'll nag. I'll nag all day for that kind of money. But nonetheless, so artist block is a lot of times it's because you don't know what to paint. A lot of times it's like you're feeling you're being disingenuine with who you are as a person. And you're painting other people's paintings, taking credit for it, uh, painting things that are not autobiographical. That's the thing with the guy in Australia. That was his thing, is that he would never find out what it was like to paint his children's portrait or his favorite dog or his favorite place because he's fulfilling orders. And that gets boring after a while. You might as well go get a job plugging in things at a factory. So art can be that way. Usually artist block comes in when you have a blockage of communication because art should be autobiographical. It should be about your life. A lot of times what happens is that we don't make it that, and after a while we kind of feel empty inside and wonder, what's this all about? And so artist block can be a thing that stops us dead in our tracks. Usually it's because we're not fulfilling our own lives. So in order for me to kind of get out of artist block, it's not about me. It's about me sharing with people. In fact, I've got a video that's going to be coming out. I'm interviewing Michael Atkins. He is one of my artists, one of my coaching students, and it's an hour-long interview where we actually discuss parts of this and kind of the difference of what took him from being not just a painter into making this his mission. But I have a mission to touch, move, and inspire millions of people. And that inspires me just thinking about it. You guys inspire me because, I could have two people. And if you guys are like willing to listen to me, I'd be willing to fill up the airspace with talk. Position to change other people's lives. How could you possibly be blocked? If you can share things, beauty, especially beauty with people, how can you be blocked? These things, you could talk yourself out of artist block. A lot of times, what happens is if you're participating in a lot of shows, and then all of a sudden you don't have any more shows, you don't have that pressure, and then you sit there and you go, now what? That can be an artist block too, to work yourself out of that kind of situation where you don't have the pressure because pressure makes diamonds. Pressure also gives us inspiration because it's about sharing your life and sharing it with others. And that's what inspires people. When you see great people doing great things, you get inspired. Well, just think about that's what you are doing right now. And when you figure that what we're doing is hard, what you're doing is difficult. What you are doing is one of the few things that people can actually do. That's why, like with AI and all these other Bob Ross programs, everybody wants to be an artist, but nobody talks about what it's like to be an artist. And part of that like is to actually motivate others or inspire others. And it doesn't mean that you have to inspire them to paint. You just inspire them to see beauty. where we look at an Albert Bierstadt painting, that in a museum, and we figure that, wow, that's just incredible. That inspiration that he gave us wants us to go to Yosemite to feel the beauty and the things that we enjoy, and to bring that joy to others can unblock you from being an artist block. But there are times when you have too much pressure, too much homework assignments. Like some of you asked, could we get some homework assignments? And it's like that is kind of disingenuous because part of that is it's not about you. Part of it too will get you in an artist block is if you paint out of ego, which means that you're trying to like say, "Yeah, I could do this, I'm taking credit for this." That can get us into artist block. And part of it is not really having an audience to share with. And that's one of the hardest things to kind of overcome too. It's like, so you have all this passion, but nobody's listening. And that can be overcome also. Looked at that artist a couple weeks ago, Jean Carlson, and she's out there at 78 or something. She started her YouTube station and she is revved up and charged up and ready to share because all it takes is one other person to listen to you and you can inspire them. So if you have artist block, it's because you're in your head, you're stuck. And I hate to tell you this, guys, but you could be an artist block for a couple of years. If you don't have a way of getting out of it, if you don't have a coach, if you don't have these classes, if you're not listening to somebody like myself, you can be an artist block for years. And unfortunately, we're so deep in it, sometimes we don't notice it. And to get out of our way so that we can share is sometimes a difficult and process. You've got to have a website to see your work. You've got to ask yourself, what am I doing this for? And it doesn't mean that you have to do it for money. It's just the feeling of beauty. We see the world in such beautiful ways, us artists, and to be able to share that with others. To overcome things. I see artists that are completely crippled. We're going to be looking at an artist today that is trying so hard to communicate, and he doesn't see color. I mean, literally, he's one of my students, and we're going to be looking at his work today. And yeah, he wants to communicate and share. His wife is just constantly like, "Get over there, listen to Stefan." But we're working with just values. But when we realize the gift that we have, I've got artists that are so crippled with arthritis that they can barely hold a brush. And they're so motivated to share and paint and not give this up. So artist block is a lot of things. We covered in the book. Artist block, it's under the 4 Bs, and it's breakup, artist block, breakthrough, and I don't know what the last one is, but we cover that in the book, and it's such a major thing that all artists will, and every one of you will suffer the realm of artist block in one way or the other. And the best way to do artist block is don't fall victim to it because it is like the devil. It is the thing that makes you want to quit. It's the thing that gives you no hope, no inspiration, and you need to talk it through. You need to work through it. The worst thing you can do is fall prey to it and clean your brushes and never touch them again. Because with every day that artist's block is there banging at your door, every day you don't go into your studio, the more it wins. And before you know it, a month will go by, 2 months. I've got artists that go, well, I'm going to take a break from coaching for a month. And it's like 5 years later, I go, so how was that month? And they go, I haven't touched my brushes. And it takes so much to get back into it that you just don't want to let go of it. You've got to figure it out. Talk to somebody, call me, any of you. If you hit artist block, let's figure it out. I'll do it free of charge just to talk to you and see if we can break through on that. But that's a loaded question, Skylar. And let's hope you're not falling into artist block. But if you are, we'll talk about it during your coaching session. Wasn't that a fascinating conversation about artist block? Well, let's just hope someday you don't have to experience that. But if you do, be sure to subscribe to my station so you have this video handy at all times, just in case. If you'd like to get more information about coaching, just give me a call at 415-606-9074. And if you'd like to get a workshop, then go to my website, stephanbauman.com, and get all of the information about all the different workshops that I have. Until then, just keep on painting, stay inspired, paint with passion, and I'll see you at the workshop.